Fun fact.
Fun fact.
Every Miura iron to this day is touched by Katsuhiro Miura or one of his sons through the grinding process. So we are touching clubs that were touched by the Miura family.
Welcome back to Tour Validated. Kris McCormack here with DJ Lantz out here in Scottsdale, Arizona, having a very early look at a pretty special iron. This is the Miura KM-700. So DJ, why don't you give us a little history lesson on why Miura is so special?
Miura is a company that is steeped with heritage, precision, craftsmanship, and a company that started as a samurai sword making company. Kind of neat. So now they have progressed into making the world's greatest handcrafted irons, and this iron looks to be no different.
The shaping of the iron, the overall aesthetics of it, beautiful iron.
Very unique.
Makes me want to put it on my wall.
Yes.
Maybe not necessarily in the golf bag.
Yeah, this is like an art project on the end of a shaft. It is very unique, different, but there are benefits, as we've learned, to the shaping of this iron. So we'll get into that a little bit about why it is the way it is.
Now, I know that Miura in the past has kind of appealed to that very small demographic of player.
Right.
So if you were a player, you had Miuras in the bag.
Right.
And there have been numerous PGA Tour victories with Miura irons in the bag that may have been, let's just say, dressed up by another company per se.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Now, the look of these guys says player all day long.
100%.
But having had an opportunity to look at some of the R&D that went into the design of these, maybe even a chop like me could put these in the bag.
Yeah, so what they've done is they've moved the center of gravity from the heel towards the toe. That's been the biggest thing that I've learned, and that is due in part to the shaping here on the toe.
And the shape on the toe, very, very unique. And our representatives from Miura told us that while this looks like a grind, the toe was actually intentionally done in the third strike in the forging process. So Miura also unique in the sense that during the forging process, they actually strike that head 3 times. Only company that really does that in the industry, which also kind of helps to separate them and also establish them as a industry leader when it comes to the quality of the forge.
Right, and they're known for overall feel of their clubs. They're not going to blow you away with technology under the hood. In fact, most of what goes into these irons comes in that R&D design process, and then the materials and the forging processes that they use. So they're going to give you a very unique, one-of-a-kind feel. And I've played Miuras in the past, and I can confidently say that they do have that unique feel in comparison to other irons. So that little stamp there, a nice little shout to Katsuhiro Miura.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And this was, to my understanding, kind of a tip of the cap with his signature, per se, on the final iron that he's designed. And if I remember correctly from kind of reading about the innovation in this design, 5 years took him to kind of perfect this design. So 5 years of work, last iron that he's producing, and actually has signature on the club. Yeah, you know, when he's putting his name on the club, he's very proud of it, and Miura's known to not release anything until they are extremely happy with it, so sure, we will see. We got to hit these things. I'm curious to get into it. Yeah, I don't know. I'd say let's get to swinging and see what these guys are all about. I can't wait. Before anyone says anything, they are premium golf balls. We're not using range balls with these beautiful irons. Just a heads up. We're not going to offend Mr. Miura. So jumping out of the gate here, 7-iron, kind of a comfort club. Yeah. Framing on the ball, really nice. Not a ton of offset, nice clean leading edge. Thinner top line, which even though my skill level doesn't necessarily ask for that, I do prefer it. As advertised, feel awesome. That sounded really good. I would say first swing out of the gate, initial reaction, first impressions, just super, super soft, and the sound, the acoustics of it, really good. Right. Turf interaction, not a whole lot of dig there. And that was something I was curious about with this new sole design here and the way that it's beveled. Would it dig? Woof. That is pure. Again, solid strike. Very solid. And this isn't even the shaft that I play. Right. And they didn't tell us what shafts they put in here. Yeah, we don't know. This is merely just taking a look at this head, but very effective through two. Little thin, still launched. Yep. Result here, according to Quad, 5 yards off of the previous shot that was struck solid. Yep. I'll take that.
So there is some forgiveness here, which is, I know, going to be a question. It has that blade look and a ton of bag appeal, but is it going to be playable and forgiving? Seems to be.
First impressions, I like it. And I was worried looking at it. I was like, this is very, very player oriented.
Right.
This is pretty friendly. Like, I could game a set and not necessarily be too concerned. I mean, 7-iron, sold. Let's jump you in here, see what you got.
Well, I've been assigned the 5-iron. It's great.
I mean, you're a little better player. I would expect to see some better things out of you with those longer irons.
Yeah, this looks really nice, like you said, for that top line. I'm interested to see turf interaction. I know it was really solid with you, but for me, we'll see how it does. And again, I'm really going to be looking to feel this weight difference. Are we going to notice that center of gravity being shifted a little more towards the toe? Because I played the Miura in the past, like I said, and it's always been a little bit more heel oriented where that sweet spot is. So we'll see. Let's get into a few here. And yep, that is the iconic Miura feel.
Just the sound coming off the face, so solid.
Very solid. I did notice through one swing, the spin was a little bit more on the high side compared to a traditional iron in today's market. That was right at 5,000, so very controlled.
I mean, that begs the question, with lofts being a little more traditional and therefore a little bit weaker than a lot of today's standards.
Right.
And are we seeing a little bit higher launch and more spin because of the more traditional lofts?
Well, I can say I didn't lose distance. That carried 203 with 5,000 spin, so a very controlled number, one that you could play very well with. So yeah, I can repeat the same thing over again. 49.59 spin, 203 carry.
203 carry.
So
sounds consistent.
Exactly what you'd expect from Miura. Consistency, great feel. And that's coming out of the same window, so for a player, that's exactly what they want.
And I'm getting pretty used to you just absolutely showing me up, regardless of how good my sample is. It's one of those, anything I can do, you can do better.
Well, you're great at pumping me up. I think it's just having you behind me there. It's very confidence inspiring.
I'm a good cheerleader.
You're a great cheerleader, so.
Nice.
Those are like, I could put this, I don't even know what this shaft is, but I could put this in the back. It's unbelievable. And the strike pattern on the face is super solid. You can see there, we're wearing out the middle of this club. I don't know if I'm having a good ball striking day or if the iron's doing all the work for me. We can give the credit to the iron.
We can give the credit to the iron.
I'm not here
Why not?
to pump myself up. This has been really interesting. You can see turf interaction, very solid. We're not getting anything super steep. Yeah, this is incredible. And it always confuses me with Miura. It's always said to be the forging process, but how do we get similar numbers to stuff that has a thin face and stuff inside with a Miura iron that's just a forged head? I don't understand it.
Quality of craftsmanship.
It's unbelievable.
Quality of materials. So I'm curious, I want to put you into a club that majority of better players are going to be really, really picky about.
Yeah.
And that's when you transition kind of down into that wedge. How do those scoring clubs look?
Yeah, let's do it.
So let's bring you back. I want to put a pitching wedge in your hand. I want to get your impressions of what that club does for us. DJ, looking at, the wear pattern on this 5-iron, it's a little sickening.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a little bit more dislike now than even before we started.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So going into this pitching wedge, kind of talk us through this. What are you looking at? What do you like? What do you see?
So leading edge, very square. I like a square leading edge. I don't like to see a lot of curve in that, so they've checked the box there.
Nice.
Next, it's really going to be hitting numbers. Like, how does this interact with the turf, and then what are we getting from a number standpoint? Because this is kind of that club in the bag where people will gravitate towards maybe a 46-degree wedge versus the pitching wedge. So I've always played the pitching wedge in my bag, but I'm very particular about them. So I'm interested to see how this one performs.
Same consistent sound there. That was nice.
It's so solid. So solid. And that's right on the number that I'm really looking for a pitching wedge. 138. So, that would fit the gap perfectly from where I'm at with my current gap wedge. So this is a set right now, just looking at the numbers with the 5-iron and the pitching wedge, that I could slide into play without having to add or subtract anything at the top or bottom of the bag.
I'm a little disappointed we have to give these back.
137 again. And these, like you mentioned, have a fairly sharp leading edge. I expected maybe a little bit of dig, and we are getting nothing, just quality through the turf. This is an unbelievable product, and if I were Katsuhiro, I'd be putting my name on a stamp on this iron too. This is serious, and not that much is gonna blow my mind as far as irons go these days. You've pretty much checked all the boxes, but when you get something like this that comes out and has the craftsmanship and the story that Miura does, this one here is unique. This is worth checking out for sure.
DJ, putting a bow on this guy, I mean, as advertised. Checks all the boxes, looks good, sounds good, feels good. And if anybody wants any more info from us, where do they need to go?
Yeah, as always, make sure to check us out at Tour Validated, and check out our other channels as well. We've got an Instagram, TikTok's been a fun one for us lately, but yeah, we're gonna keep releasing that fun content. Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, leave a comment, like the video, keep coming back for more. We're gonna have some fun stuff coming in the future.